Hey everybody, welcome back. We are getting ready to start season 2 of Game of Thrones. I've just uploaded last night episode 2 of season 1, and so that tells you where I'm at as far as the recording process. But just want to say, of all the shows, this is the most popular one so far, and so thank you for the warm welcome from everybody, even those that seem a little irritated by me not being able to get things straight. But I do appreciate some of the explanations of stuff, such as I just found out that Khaleesi is kind of more of a title. And so it's like, I don't know if this is exactly what it is, but it's like saying highness or your queen or, something like that to someone. And so, so I don't know if I'm saying her other name correctly, Dionysus, something like that. I'm mixing it up with the Greek name Dionysus, but I think it's Dionysus. Targaryen is her actual name, and so I'm correct if I call her either name. Although I don't know if Khaleesi is still accurate, since as we finished season 1, the Dothraki tribe. Somebody said they're a tribe, and I did figure out they're either a clan or a tribe or something like that. But somebody described them as a tribe, so we'll call them that rather than clan or whatever else. The Dothraki have gone off with the other dude when shit hit the fan. So the people that were left seem to be mostly the people that were slaves that they had basically kidnapped and took hostage as slaves. So I don't know if she still is going to go by the title Khaleesi or not, since she's no longer with the Dothraki tribe, or at least it doesn't appear to be that she's still with them. Hello, my breath checker. I'm surprised. I haven't brushed my teeth yet this morning. So we'll have to see what happens there. However, we did get our 3 dragons, and she proved she could survive fire. She did not burn, even though everything else around her was burned to a crisp. So, my thinking is they're going to kind of treat her like a god type of person. So, we will have to see what happens there. And the one dude, I forget his name, from what I understand, he was part of Robert's kingdom but got banished for some reason. Something like that. He is still with Daenerys. I'll get it eventually. As far as King's Landing, Joffrey has taken the throne. He's shown to be very draconian in his ruling of things, and we're going to see an uprising, I predict, because he seems to not follow through on his promises. He's very cruel, doesn't seem to care about anybody else. And Senna has figured out that he's not her sweet prince, although she figured it out a little too late. Ned is dead. Grace, nobody's corrected me on that so far, but I don't think I've gotten to the part of the videos where I've repeatedly said Grace, but I'm pretty sure her name is Grace, is with her son's troops. Is it Rob that's leading the troops? I'm thinking it's the other one that's leading, but I want to say Rob, but I'm not sure about that. At any rate, she's with her one son leading the troops because they've sworn to go up against Joffrey and his reign. I was trying to remember if anybody knows the secret that Joffrey is Robert the current king? Or not the current king, but the most recent one? He is the one that the queen poisoned. Whichever one that the queen poisoned. Joffrey is not his son. And so I can't remember if if anybody else knows, because I don't think Ned got a chance to tell anybody. I don't even think he told Fingers or the other suck up, even when the other suck up was visiting him in the dungeon. I don't think he told anybody else, but I could be wrong. Aola, I think is her name, the young girl who was dancing. She has escaped and she is living disguised as a boy right now and trying to remember how, not trying to remember how, but she's got to figure out how to get back to her family um, without being figured out who she is, because she'll either be killed or enslaved if they find her, kind of like Senna. And then Tyrion, the last we saw him, he was with his father and his army. They thought they were attacking. I've got a loud bird out there. They thought they were attacking Rob's army, but it was really like a scouting troop or something like that, and they realized they'd been had or something like that. And then Tyrion's father wants to send Tyrion to King's Landing to be I forget what it's called, when they act as regent. He wants Tyrion to be regent over Joffrey, not Joffrey's mother. That's going to go over like a lead balloon, of course. So we'll have to see what happens. Also, Tyrion is not as cold and as violent as the rest of his family, or at least as much as they've shown so far. He and I had commented in, I think the second one that I uploaded, that he doesn't show a lot of emotion or anything, but I think it's more that he's kind of hardened his heart just having to deal with his family in general. At least that's what I was starting to get the feeling of for him. So we'll have to see what happens. So far, I don't think he's the scum of the earth like his family. Someone else did correct me, and I think I figured this out towards the end of season one. I don't know. It's been a month since I finished season one, and so I can't even remember what my reactions were now. But somebody did correct me in that the Starks and the Lannisters did basically overthrow the king that was in place, and so they basically stole the kingdom from the Targaryens. And so I think I kind of figured that out as we were getting to know Daenerys and her brother. I never did learn his name. I think it's because he was such an asshole. Hi. That meek little cry was this one. So we'll have to see what ends up happening with her, because her brother's not around any longer. But is it a good thing that they took over for the Targaryens? Well, I am certainly glad that Daenerys' brother did not come into power and control, because he seems to be just as bad, if not worse, than Joffrey. So, but Joffrey's not any better. So, um, we need to get rid of his administration as well. Did I cover all the major players? I think we have. I think that catches us up, at least as far as what I remember from a month ago. So I think I did pretty good. For those of you that recommended possibly taking notes, that's not my thing. If I have to take notes to watch a TV show, then I'm not enjoying it. and the show should not be so complicated that I have to take notes. Um, and if I eventually figure things out, like I've done for season one, then hopefully things aren't too bad. Some of the diehards might get frustrated with me, but taking notes feels like homework, and I am done with school. We're just not going to do that. And for somebody else had recommended doing subtitles for learning the names and stuff. I understand why you're recommending that. However, I have a terrible time with subtitles, mainly because they're usually going too fast for me to stay caught up with. But also, I get distracted by the subtitles and then I'm not paying attention to what's happening in the scene. So it's plus with and the reason why I can't read it fast enough is because of my dyslexia. So please bear with me, even if I get close to the names. Like the Ned was saying, the true king is a guy whose name starts with an S, I believe. It's either an S or a C. And I just refer to him as Sinister because it's something like Senna, and I can't remember the rest of it. You guys know who I'm talking about, though. So just bear with me on that. I know who I'm talking about. So, and thank you to the person who clarified that John did not go on to the wall by himself. He was actually with another group. He was just hanging back to say bye to Ned. I somehow missed the other group when they were showing him riding off. I don't have contacts in most of the time when I'm watching this, and so maybe they looked like rocks or something like that, but I did not see the other groups, so that would explain that. So thank you. At any rate, let's go ahead and get into season two. I want to see what ends up happening, where we're at with things. I'm excited to see more of the dragons. So, and I think they're the only mythical creature that we have so far, other than the White Walkers. I didn't talk about John and the wall and all that. So John did try to leave the wall to join his brother in the fight for Joffrey's reign, killing Ned. However, his friends talked him out of it, and he's still back at the wall, I think. He did go back. I don't think he tried to leave again. However, the one old guy that is blind, that seems to be kind of like a seer, the basic gist I was getting from him is that at some point, John is going to leave the wall, and he would know when that time is. So, but we have learned more about the White Walkers. White Walkers are basically, from what I gather so far, are basically kind of like zombies. They're the dead that have come back to life, and the only way to kill them that we know of so far is to burn them or something like that. So that's the wall. That's where John's at. It's been kind of boring at the wall, so we'll have to see if things pick up there or if John leaves or what's going on. But they've made the wall such an important part of the storyline that there's got to be more that happens, I think. So, okay, let's get into it. Let's see where we're picking up at and go from there. So, this first one is called, the first one of season two is called The North Remembers. And so I'm guessing this is going to be about Ned being killed. They remember him being killed, and so they're going to remember that. Hold them accountable. Now, we saw that wolf mask when Ned's crew was coming into King's Landing. Oh, that's the one who saved Did you like that? Aola.
Here I am.
Is he drunk or klutz?
To celebrate my name day. Have as much as you like.
So name day, is that like birthday or coronation, basically? So basically, he's going to give him alcohol poisoning.
And you, my lady, thank you.
Beloved nephew.
So she's saving him. I don't know if there's a reason why she's saving him.
But there is work to be done.
Work. Why are you here?
Now he's asking.
Considered reports from maesters all over the Seven Kingdoms.
A white raven?
Yes, your grace.
Here comes the lead balloon.
Yes, well, I do believe the hand of the king is welcome at all small council meetings.
Oh, hand of the king, not regent. Okay.
Yes, but I know people. And I know that our enemies hate each other almost as much as they hate us.
Will she listen to him?
Arya, little animal, she disappeared.
Disappeared? What? In a puff of smoke?
Arya.
We had
I was calling her the wrong name.
trade. Father would be furious. Must be odd for you to be the disappointing child.
He's glad he's not the one that's disappointing this time around.
I believe it will. We didn't want him here all day, did we?
They was talking about Robb.
Nor did I.
So it is Robb that's leading the charge. I wasn't positive about that. It's weird sounds. It's not a shooting star. It's the wolf.
Heard some of the men talking about the comet. Say it's an omen.
Comet,
That means
okay.
Robb will win a great victory in the south.
Red comet means one thing, boy. Dragons.
The lady's not wrong. We're going to see the dragons now. So she's trying to feed them and they're not eating. Oh, I bet you they're going to eat horse meat.
As are your people. You must be their strength.
Time to eat some horse meat. I wonder how hard it is, acting-wise, to have to learn your lines in a language that doesn't exist. So is she sending them on ahead to see what they can find? Oh, they're going in different directions. Back to the north.
And on it goes.
Oh,
It's beyond foul. All the other wildlings.
we're back at this
League
king,
disappeared.
or lord, or whatever he is.
You got a nice wet twat between your legs.
I've always liked Kit Harington.
Snow.
I can't remember what I used to watch him in,
Bastard.
but I always liked his look.
Better to live free than die a slave.
And she's a slave.
Your roof. Your rules.
I wouldn't trust him. He's very fast with the trigger. That comet's hanging in the sky a long time, isn't it? Is that a dragon statue?
Is this how you treat the gods of your fathers? Are you so eager?
Is this a new group?
Spit on your ancestors.
I don't recognize anybody. That's not Crazy Sis, is it?
Stannis Baratheon.
Stannis. So we're finally meeting him. So Stannis has a lot of yes men.
That my brother Robert left no true-born heirs. The boy Joffrey, the boy Tommen, and the girl Myrcella being born of incest between Cersei Lannister and her brother Jaime Lannister.
Oh, he did get the message off to them, didn't he? So he's
And her brother
responding.
Jaime Lannister, the Kingslayer.
He's challenging her, but I don't understand. Oh, he's trying to poison her. So he poisoned himself, hoping to poison her too, but it didn't seem to have the same effect.
What's wrong? Don't like being called boy?
Jamie's looking a little haggard.
Stannis Baratheon sent ravens to all the High Lords of Westeros.
His wolf is
King
getting
Joffrey
big.
Baratheon.
You can smell his breath.
You're the biggest little liar I have ever met.
Biggest little liar.
As if the poor
Wonder
man
if that's a pun about the show Little Liars. Pretty Little Liars.
Seize him.
I was going to say he was pushing his luck. She might have current power, but he's not wrong in that knowledge is power. You just have to be more patient with it.
King Joffrey is a Baratheon, Your Grace.
I see. You'll ride at daybreak, Sir Alton.
So he's laying down the law, sending a message back. It's not going to go over well.
I'm his only living son. He'll listen to me. I know he will.
This is the friend that was with him and Bran in the woods.
You want to leave Sansa in the Queen's hands? And are you?
Sansa. I keep calling her Sansa.
We'll get the girls back. And we'll all go home. For good.
Seems a little oversimplified.
It's not a claim. The throne is mine.
Of course it is.
He is such a little brat.
How many bastards does he have running?
Everybody's minding their own business. They don't want to be hung.
You'll never do it again. Never.
I think she will do it again. They're taking over the brothel. Oh, is that, that's the woman that was claiming that was the king's son. So they're killing all of the possible heirs, whether they actually are heirs or not.
He made it himself!
Find him.
So they're going to the wall to kill him. Hey! We must be wrapping up. This must be the end of the episode. It's a pretty little path there, isn't it? So, rumors are getting out. Some rumors which are true, some which may not be true. People's feelings are getting hurt. So Joffrey's still a brat. Does that surprise us? No. So he's ordered that all of these possible heirs of the king be killed so that they don't take his throne, because he, in his heart, knows that he's not the king's son. Maybe he doesn't know that, but if you thought there was a possibility that he wasn't your father and that you weren't the heir, I don't know if I said that right. If you thought that there was no possibility that the rumors are true, then there wouldn't necessarily be any reason to go and kill innocents. So the boy with the bull's head mask is on his way to the wall, but it's rumored that he's also one of the king's sons. He does have the black hair, and was it blue eyes? I can't remember that part. And it looks like he was the one that was helping Aora. I think there's an R in it. Aora. And she's still alive and kicking and surviving. Living as a boy. I guess the only other thing that I'm left to comment on is they are still calling her Khaleesi. And it looks like maybe some of the Dothraki did stay behind. I don't think they are all slaves, especially since they speak Dothrakian. Is that how you say it? So they might not have all been slaves. But they are hurting. They are hungry. They are dehydrated. You can see that they're skin is burnt and peeling from being sunburnt. The dragons are not doing well. They're not eating. She's not feeding them the right kind of meat. So we got to find out what kind of meat it is that they'll eat. I imagine that we'll get that in the next few episodes. They're still keeping the link between Lady and Bran. So almost like he's got that wolf soul in him, which gave him life. And I thought there was another older brother that was left behind that was in charge, but I guess Bran is the one that's in charge along with the advisor. I think that's all there is to comment on for right now. This episode was catching us up with what's been happening, along with setting things up. Action certainly picked up there at the end, so I wonder if we'll be keeping that momentum going into the second episode, or if the second episode will still be a building episode. And everybody's trying to figure out what allies to have in their fight. Who is Robb going to get to side with him? Who is King's Landing going to get to side with them? And we finally met Stannis. It's just Stannis, right? We finally met him. So, and hopefully I can remember that name. And apparently nobody says no to him, and he's following the advice of someone who is outside the norm of the people. So, we will have to see what happens. Thank you all for joining me on this one, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.